Okay, today we're going to be using some blue paper and we're going to be using some red strips of paper to create a paper weaving. So when you weave something, you put two things together so they hold tightly, and we're going to be weaving over and under, okay? So kind of like a wavy line. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our blue paper and we're going to fold it in half like a hamburger, okay? So this way, so it's kind of like a card too. And then you're going to find the fold, okay? And then you're going to take something to write with, maybe a white crayon or a pencil or a black crayon, something you can see. And we're just going to make small little dash marks on the bottom of the fold. Okay? So you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. All right. Had to get my scissors. Okay. So you want to make sure, open it up, okay? So I marked along the fold, that part that is folded, okay? That is where I made all my marks. And then you're going to take your scissors, and this is very important because if you mess up, you can't fix it. You have to start over. So you need to make sure you're doing it right. So you're going to take your scissors, and you're going to cut like there's an imaginary line up each of those little marks. We're not going to cut all the way through. We're not cutting it off. We're going to stop before we get to the end, okay? You're going to make sure when you're cutting that the cuts stop all at the same time. So they're not all different. We want them to be very equal, very much the same. Okay, so I cut 6 times and I stopped. So they're all like on this imaginary line. Maybe this one needs a little bit more. Okay, so when I open it up, it looks like this, and it's all still one piece, okay, but it has some cuts in between. So I'm going to open it up, and this is when we start taking our red pieces of paper and we're going to weave them. So you're going to start on one side, it doesn't matter wherever you start, and you're going to start under and go under this first one, okay, and over the second one, under, pull it through, over, under, over, and then under. And then I'm going to push it all the way to the top. Okay? Now it's going to slide on you because it's not stuck in place yet, which is fine. But just make sure you're not holding up the paper or all those pieces are going to fall out. Okay. When I do another one, we're going to start the opposite of what we did before, the opposite. So this one I can tell I started under because the blue's showing. So for this red piece, I'm going to start over that one. I'm going to go on the same side that I started before. I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over this one, under this one, and then we're going to finish over. Okay, so when I look at it, the pieces that are before are opposite. Okay, so it's blue, red, red, blue, blue, red, red, blue, blue, red, red, blue, blue, red. Okay, and I'm going to keep going like this all the way till I get to the bottom of these cuts. Okay, all the way to the bottom of the paper. So again, this one I started over. I look at where I started before. The red's on top. Now I'm going to put the red underneath. So go under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay, so now we're kind of making this, it kind of looks like a checkerboard, actually. And this one I'm gonna start over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Okay, so I'm doing this all the way to the bottom. If you are starting to look all the same, you need to stop and you need to pull them out. They have to look opposite, okay? When you lift it up, if they're all the same, all those pieces are just gonna drop and they're gonna fall out. So you really need to pay attention to what you're doing when you're doing it, okay? All right, so I'm halfway there. I'm gonna go all the way to the bottom. I'm also making sure that my strips are tight together so I don't see a bunch of blue space in between each red line. Okay, so I push them together. That way it also sticks nice and tightly and things won't fall out when you pick it up. And at the end, what we're gonna do is we're going to glue the ends down so we know for sure that they won't fall out. Okay, and if you look at what I'm doing, I'm not picking this up. I'm leaving it on the table so that it won't fall out. I'm just kind of pushing them through, weaving them in and out. Okay. Good way to check is to check where you start. Make sure they're opposite. This one popped out. Okay.